So welcome back everybody. Today we are down here at a little patch of land right next to a creek, and what we're doing is we're clearing out some of these trees. We're planning on putting a food plot down here. It's a kind of a small little plot. It'll be about 6,500 or so square feet, but it's right in the middle of the woods and a really nice spot for a food plot. But the problem is there's a lot of trees that are standing here, and those do not allow enough light to get down to the ground so that stuff will grow. So what we're going to do today, and you can see we've already got a lot of this junk cleared off of the ground, the dead stuff, so it's a little bit safer to walk around and for the tractor to drive it around. So we're going to go ahead and start clearing out some of these trees. Hopefully we won't have to clear out every last tree, but mainly we want to get enough light down to the ground so that stuff will grow. So we'll start off with the smaller stuff, work up to the bigger trees, of course, and some of this stuff will be firewood, some of it will go on the sawmill, but yeah, let's go ahead and get started and see what we can get done. All right, so it's time to go ahead and tackle the larger trees. So first I'm going to put a new chain on this because this one's just about had it. And let me show y'all something. I know y'all have never done something this stupid. It started raining earlier, so I put my saw kit, my bucket here, up under the tractor, and promptly forgot about it. And well, you can see what happened. But anyhow, let's get a new chain on this thing and get a couple of these larger trees down. So guys, I went up to the house to get some more gas for the saw, and I had some stuff I had to do up there, and one thing led to another, and now it's like 4 hours later. But anyhow, so let's go ahead and get this tree down. This is one of the major culprits for blocking our sunlight down to the ground here. This is a poplar tree, and not a huge tree, probably maybe 14 inches. We'll most likely put it on the mill and see what it's got in it, but let's go ahead and get this one down. Then we'll get that pine tree down, and probably be done for today. Did y'all see that limb? Wow. So guys, I'm pretty sure the camera caught this limb falling right here, but good grief, did y'all see that? So I was right over there when that limb fell, but it just broke off, and that would have absolutely killed me. I usually do get some distance between me and the tree when it starts going, I'm gonna start getting more, I think. So guys, that's going to do it for this video. I'm not quite finished down here, of course, and I didn't get to this pine tree here, but I'm not sure if I'm going to cut it down or not because it's not blocking a whole lot of light down to the ground. There are other trees here that are much more shady, and they might be contributing a lot more to this shade problem than this pine tree is. But I did want to speak a minute on that Widowmaker that fell out of that tree. You know, you always want to look back when something like that happens and say, man, is there something that I did wrong there? Going forward, what can I do better? And what could I have done better in this situation? And I've thought about a lot of different aspects of it. So the wedge and the back cut were actually pretty good. The back cut was good, the wedge was good. I did violate part of the hinge, which caused the tree not to fall quite as accurately as I wanted it to. The top of the tree landed maybe about 15 or so feet away from where I wanted it to land, but for the most part, that part was okay. I'm observing this pine tree right here though, and right in the top of this pine tree, there's a crotch, and there is a wad of poplar leaves in that crotch. So I really think what happened here was, over the years, that poplar tree, that limb has grown over into that crotch. When I took it down just now, that tree, as it went over, pulled that limb away from the trunk, hung up in that pine tree, and the limb came straight down. In reviewing the video footage, the area where that limb fell seems to jive with that. On the other hand, my inaccuracy possibly caused it to hit the poplar tree next to it, because there is a small broken spot on the poplar tree next to it. That might have caused it, but I really think it's this pine tree right here. So what could I have done better? I could have taken my earmuffs off right at the very last so I could hear cracking and popping and things falling out of the canopy. I could have made a better 360 observation of this tree before I cut it down, and maybe I would have caught that. I could have observed the canopy while I was cutting a little bit better. There are certain things that I certainly could have done, but for the most part, I think this was just one of those unpredictable things that happened, and I'm thankful that I was far enough away when it did happen. And it's something else I've observed with these poplar trees. They're very brittle trees, and I didn't know this. Oh, and that's another thing. That limb was obviously alive, so it wasn't a dead limb. If it had been dead, I would have had a better idea. But these green poplar limbs, look at this. they just snap. They don't shred, they don't splinter, they just come right apart. And that certainly contributed to that limb falling down like it did. But anyway, lesson learned, make better observations before you cut down trees, and make sure you observe that canopy as much as you possibly can as you're cutting. But anyway, I wanted to share that experience with y'all. I'm glad that got caught on camera, and I'm certainly glad that it wasn't any worse than it was. So guys, I really appreciate y'all watching this video. If y'all have a better analysis of what happened and things that could be improved upon, please let me know in the comments down here, and I will see y'all on the next one.